Good morning, Marion. Hey, the big day is here. So as you can see behind me, they are starting to lift the big bowl up. If you look right about, sorry about my big fat finger, right about there, it's moved up right now about 8 inches to a foot. It's a slow process. I'm going to turn this around so you can see all the activity that's going on here. So let's spin that around. Okay, there we go. So if this will let me zoom it a little bit, you can see a few minutes ago it was sitting on those welds right there. Now that tank itself is 50 tons, so quite heavy, and that's empty. When this is filled with 500,000 gallons of water, it's going to weigh about 4.2 million pounds. So I was just talking to our public works supervisor right there, Mr. Brent Kane. Hi, Brent. He's telling me that when the footings went in for this thing, they're 4 foot round and 60 foot deep. So it's extremely secure down below, as you can see down there at the base. So talking to this gentleman right here, he's going to be one of the welders who later today will be up there welding this thing onto the bottom of the tank right there once it gets all the way up. So as you can see, it's up about 5 or 6 feet right now, so it's on its way. They indicated that this is one of the newer ways of putting new water towers up. They used to build these tanks at the top and do all the work up there. Of course, workers saying, man, it's a lot safer and a lot better to do it down here and then just hoist it up with these giant hydraulic lifts up there on the top. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but they have tape measures going all the way around that thing to make sure that it is level, perfectly level going up, that all of those cranes are pulling at the same speed. Don't want to get something like this off-centered and start leaning to one side or anything like that. So I guess we're up about 6 or 7 feet now. Said the whole thing will take about an hour to an hour and a half to get it to the top, and then they'll start the job of making sure it's exactly positioned correctly, making sure everything's perfectly level, and then they'll start welding it up on top of that plate right up there. So you won't see any of that at the top anymore. It's be just like the other towers in town. It will be sitting up on top. So we'll keep you alive here for just a little bit. Not something that you do see every day. So I can tell you right now, there's about 4 or 5 guys up there. There are a few more inside the tank, believe it or not. So I'm sure they are in there making sure that everything stays just the way it should. And we don't need any surprises. Don't want to see this thing rolling down 13 for sure. So we're up about, believe it or not, that's probably about 8 to 10 feet already off of the base of where it was this morning. So it is going. It's just I got to take it nice and slow, make sure it stays totally level as it goes up. Quite a few. If you look around, there's quite a few cars out here, and onlookers coming around. Thanks to TV3, they're out broadcasting this live, I guess, too, so you'll be able to watch it on the news tonight. You can see we're coming up over the base tower is just about all showing now. We'll be getting up into the uprights right now. Let me give you a little different angle of this. Sorry about the sunshine there. I didn't think about that. I'm going to put it back behind where it was. We'll stay back here in the shade. It's a little bit easier to see what's going on and see the progress. So one thing we were hoping to do with this tower, as you can see, it's painted exactly like every other one in town with our big Marion blue and gold logo on it. We were hoping to put the Marion Wildcat on this one, but when we got into the pricing to add something like that on, it just was a little too cost prohibitive for us at this point in time. We thought, this is fine right now, and if and when the next tower decides to go up, whenever it's needed, as long as we have plenty of lead time on it, it won't be quite as an expense as it is kind of coming in at the last minute and deciding to put a Wildcat head on the side. So it'll look good though. It looks good. It's got Marion on both sides, so you'll see it coming from Harrisburg way, you'll see it coming from the Carbondale way. So now you can see at the very base right there, we've cleared the conical shape of the base, and we're starting to go up the straight pieces. Those come in. I was talking to the guys this morning that weld this thing. Each piece that comes in one at a time, and basically they just stack them on top like little Legos. And
gotta run.
What about that?
Come out back a little bit. See
all right. Do you know how big, Brett, each one of those pieces are that goes up?
I do not.
What do you think? Probably 20 feet?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. So.
They need some more weight on their tape measures.
Oh, do they? Oh, yeah, they're blowing. Yeah.
I'll see you after that.
All right, thank you. So there you go. You can kind of see the progress over the last 10 minutes or so. It's up. Brett and I both think that each one of those pieces is about 20 to 30 feet tall. So once we clear that first piece, we'll be about 35 foot in movement already for this lift. So anyway, this is going to probably go on for another, maybe 45 minutes to an hour at the minimum. So it's a little like watching paint dry. I realize that, but it is something that probably a lot of people are only going to see once. So we'll stay out here a little bit. It's a little chilly this morning, I'm not gonna lie, but we're making it. For those that just got on, that tank there is a 500,000 gallon tank, all right, which is similar to the other tanks we've got around town. The empty tank right now that they're lifting right now is 50 tons that they're pulling up, 200 feet up in the air. And then when it is completely filled with water, that thing's going to weigh about 4.3 million pounds. So what I was talking about earlier, that base down there, that bottom is extremely sturdy, and it is extremely down deep into the footing. So it's about 60 feet down with steel and everything else. So hopefully it will stay up for decades and decades and decades to come. So now once this all goes up and everything's complete at the top, you will not see, of course, any of that. That will be all inside the tank. And then once it's up there, then that big crane you see next to him will actually hoist up the big cap. So at the very top of this tank right here, it's open, of course, right now. They still got to put the top on this thing, and they'll weld that back on there, and they'll do that once it is way up on top. So they'll hoist that up there probably, in the next week. They will get that fully on top. It'll be painted. It's already painted. It'll get bolted on the top, and it'll be good to go. And then the process of filling will start. So hopefully this thing will be operational and online in the next couple of weeks. So if you do live here on the eastern side of town, at Spring Garden and all those subdivisions out here, this will provide a needed, little bit of a pressure increase. You should notice that. You won't notice any drops in pressure when you might be using your water or whatever. And, a lot of other folks do at the same time. This should really alleviate that. So, plus it does give us 4 or 5 more days of water supply, if anything were ever to go, south in our water pumping capacity. So now you can see the bottom again. You can see about half of that first piece. You can see them up on top of there. That's a 20-foot, 25-foot piece. So we've got about half of it exposed now. So we're about 15 feet up, maybe, from where it was this morning. So you can see all the workers up top up there. We're gonna zoom in on those guys. That is not a job that I would relish at all. They are making sure everything's staying level, making sure those cranes and everything up there are pulling like they should. So I don't know if anybody's seen the inside of a water tower before, but the way, of course, this thing works is the main feeds come in down here at the bottom, obviously underground. They go right up through the middle, all the way up there through the top, and then they will come out very much in the top of that one and fill that tank from inside. So that's how that thing will work. And of course, the reason we elevate those tanks is to put pressure in the lines behind them, and so that's why it's up where it's at. So we do have one ground level tank at the water plant, and the rest of those, of course, that we have around town are all elevated. And that's the reason why. So I will probably stay live on this until we maybe clear the first section right there. I mean, it's pretty much going to be more the same as we hoist this thing up. It is moving, believe it or not. It's just slow. You can't take anything like this 50 tons at a time. It's got to move at a very controlled pace. So. I do think that about every couple feet they are making sure, you see the guys up top, they're making sure that those tape measures that they're pulling up are exactly, within, whatever range they have of putting it up. So. I was speaking to these two gentlemen down here. They're two of the welders who are going to be going up inside there later to weld that thing onto that cap up there at the top. And he was telling me that this is considered a summer build, believe it or not, because all of this work on the main part of the tower and really the tank, most of this was done all through the summer. And he got lucky enough to weld on the inside of this upright all the way in here all summer long. And he said temperatures ranged anywhere from 120 to 140 degrees inside there in July and August. So told me that they were limited to about 10 to 15 minutes at a time of being up in there, and then had to come back down. And yeah, Matt, That's exactly what I want to do at 7:30 in the morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sing a song. Yeah. Baby, it's cold outside. So now you can see we are clearing the first section is clearing right now. So again, that's moved up probably just in the last minute about 5 more feet. So it is going. Of course, once this is all the way up, then the paint crew will come back down and they will finish painting the whole base of that. So that'll be another job in itself. If you saw them, they were painting the outside. It's pretty amazing to watch it done. Of course, this will be a little easier. It's just gonna be white. So when they painted that stripe on there, that was quite a feat to do that. But safer to paint it on the ground than at 150 feet in the air. So that's it. It's starting to take its a little bit more shape of what a water tower is supposed to look like. Maybe I'll walk over here and while the thing's going, since it's going slow, I just can't get inside their hard hat area here. So I'm going to ask them if they will be on camera. One of you guys want to be interviewed? Come on, give me some information. You did really good. Come on, you did really good earlier. So talk to me. This is Mike. What's your name again?
Trent Willis.
Trent Willis. Okay, Trent's the guy I was talking to earlier who was up inside this thing this summer doing the welding, right? So tell me about what temperature was it this summer?
I mean, inside the can itself, it probably got up to like 135, 140.
Yeah.
We had to take an early day off. I can't say anything.
I imagine. So now your job today is going to be when this thing is all the way up there, you get to go in and weld the base to the tower. Is that right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we hope it too. So what time you think you're ready to go on stage to do that?
A couple hours at least. I mean, it's actually going up a lot faster than I thought it would.
Yeah. Should we be worried about that hole in the side right there?
No, I mean, right now probably if there was to be water in it, but no.
I imagine that's your access point right now.
Yeah, that's what we can.
Yeah, I figured. Okay. All right, so you get a good view here of how much it's moved just in the last couple of minutes. We're clearing the second building block right there is what I call them. I don't know what, do they have a technical term? What those rounds? Cans. There, we got the official technical term. It's a can. So we got 1.5 cans showing right now on the base. So it's working. You can really see it from this angle down here how tall this thing is, folks. It is literally. Do we know the exact height of it? I'd say about 180, close to 200 feet. So we're that's a lot of water 200 feet above your head. You know, well, no water right now, but there will be. So you can see the guys still up on top. They are measuring that thing, make sure that thing stays totally level up there. All right, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Good luck today. All right. That was Trent, man. That's good to get it right from their mouth. So, if you just joined us there, you can see what's happening again today. So it is going up. Barry, just so you know, your son is right over there. Reese has been over here with me most of the morning, but he took a different angle than me right now, but he's still on the job. So nice to see them there from TV3. So it's a perfect morning for this out here. A little chilly, but that's the way these guys like it. So just couldn't be frozen. They had to warm those those lifts up on top. They were doing that this morning for about 30 minutes, making sure that the whatever they had to do got them up to temperature before they could start lifting this thing. Make sure the cables were the right temperature and all that. So much engineering that goes into this thing. It's incredible. I don't think the camera picks it up, but when you're standing here, you can see it moving ever so slowly. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Donna. So it's moving really, really slow, but it is moving, you know. So not sure what speed that is, but it's up. It'll be close to about 40 feet, 45 feet here in a few minutes. Once that second, now that we know the technical term, a can, starts to show, you'll see the next weld come around here in a minute. And then that'll be 40 feet of can there, plus the little base part. So. We kind of gave the one of the foreman fits this morning when we came in. I asked him if it would be okay if we just rotated that tank just a little bit to the south so that the Marion sign would face 13 a little bit more from the direct angle of the west, and he gave me a nice look and said, "Yeah, it'll go where it decides to go." So he did say that it may move up to 6 inches or so as it goes up, and that's just part of it. So, but it'll be very close. They'll be able to tell. So, morning, Tommy. Morning, Ashley. Nice to see you. Yeah. Whatever we can do to help your water department knowledge. Yeah. If I had my stopwatch on me, Shannon, I would do that. But I'm trying. Let's just put it this way. Let's give them this challenge. It's gonna go 190 feet in 67 minutes. So there, let him calculate that rate. I don't know if that's exact or not, but at least it's a calculation you can put them to. So. So as you can see, we're on the bottom here. They are monitoring this from below. They're in contact with the guys up top, letting them know. He's communicating to his guys up top what's showing down here at the bottom, because obviously they can't see it. So there's that second weld coming into view right now at the bottom of the tank. So now that's 40, I'd say it's about 48 feet, maybe 50 feet from this morning when we started. We're going to see if we can get the question answered. Excuse me, do we know what's the rate of speed that's going up? I had somebody ask me on here.
A foot every 2 minutes, I think.
There you go, Shannon. 1 foot every 2 minutes. So there's another calculation you could put in place for your homeschool class. Perfect. There you can see the second weld is now fully showing on the bottom, so we're up again. So, oh yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, we got quite a few. We'll drop this to the city website once it's done.
Right.
I shouldn't say drop. We don't want anything to drop.
Right. This is the first water tower I've jacked in 26 years.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, this is the first one like its kind, really.
No kidding.
They've done smaller ones, but this is a 500 million or 500,000,
Yeah?
and it's the first one we've ever done. And we found a lot of loopholes, you know, things that we could improve. So,
Right? Okay.
but it looks pretty good.
So this is we're the guinea pig here, huh?
Hey, right?
Should I back up?
Oh no.
Okay.
It's got a safety factor of about 60 to 80%.
Okay. That sounds good to me. So how many guys right now are up top right now, would you say?
5 right now.
5 guys up there. Okay.
And 2 more are heading up.
Okay. Gotcha. It does have a little wiggle at the bottom once in a while, doesn't it? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Hard to imagine you can lift 50 tons like that.
Right.
Yeah. And how many jacks are up there on top?
8.
8 of them. Okay. Wow. It's impressive. I had somebody ask me earlier what that piece, let me show folks on camera, that piece right at the very top, it's on the left side there. On just a very...
It's overhead, it's what do they call that? It's a painter's pick with a ladder. That's how we weld the overhead whenever
Okay.
we put the roof on.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. Will that stay up there or will that come, it'll all come
No,
down?
it'll come out.
Come out? Okay. All right. So now we know what that is.
What it does is it leans out, climb up it, weld the overhead, then they bring it back up, then we bring it out.
Wow. Okay. At 200 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, have you been involved with the other water towers in Marion too, or not? Or just this one?
No, just this one.
Just this one? Okay.
I'm just lucky to be this close to home.
Right. Where are you from?
Ramsey?
Oh yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Shannon, we're glad we could make the math lesson relevant this morning. Good job. Centimeters per second. Conversions. Love it. Math and science happening at the same time. This is great. Hello, AJ. I was talking to someone who came by a while ago. It's kind of like watching the O.J. Simpson chase on the interstate years ago. It's kind of nothing really exciting, real fast, but
Right.
but you can't take your eyes off it.
Right.
So now you can see we've got what, 2 and almost 2.5 cans starting to show now. So
Yeah.
we are making progress. Hi, Rochelle. Oh, nice, AJ. Yeah, we've had, let's see, Johnson City Water Tower, Walker's Bluff Water Tower, so we've had quite a few of them go up recently, so. All right, so thank you for your info. You bet. All right, folks, so hey, there it is. So we'll give you a little shot again from this side over here. Trying to keep the sun out of everybody's eyes. It's pretty bright out this morning, but if you just joined us again, just a couple of facts. The base and the footing down there, I was talking to them a while ago. Those things go way down. All steel reinforced, has to be to hold this tank when it's full, which is going to weigh about 4.3 million pounds when it's fully loaded in water. The empty tank alone up there is 50 tons, so 100,000 pounds or so. So there you can see at the very base, got a little bit of the base color white started on it. That's all primer that you see on there right now, the green. So it will all be white when we get it all finished. So yeah, HA, the gentleman told me this is the first one like this they've done, where they've hoisted it because it's so big. They're normally they do it and put it up. They put the ball on and everything and put it together on top. But since this is so tall and such a big one, for safety, they said they thought they would try it this way. They've seen it done other places around the country, so. But he said it's his first one of himself doing it this way. Looks like this is the way they're going to do it from here on, the way it sounded to me. So anyway, we're underway out here on the east side of Marion right now. It's starting to take its. I'm going to step back a little bit so you can kind of get the scope of how big this thing is. But we're about almost, I'd say, a third of the way up right now. To where it's going to go, maybe not quite a third. Like the gentleman said, it's moving 1 foot every 2 minutes. So if you just try and do that calculation, we're up about 50 feet, 60 feet right now. We've got another 120 or so feet to go. So at 1 foot every 2 minutes, and we got 60 feet, we got about 120 minutes to go to get that thing completely set. Remember, it's going to sit right up there. So once they get that thing on top there, where those gentlemen are standing will be inside the bowl, obviously, and they will be able to weld that on the little green piece there on the bottom to the base of that tower right there. So pretty cool thing to watch. Again, I know a lot of people have been watching this tower go up for a long time, wondering, first of all, when it started, what the heck it was going to be. We had everybody asking if it was going to be one of the world's largest outdoor billboards, to bungee jumping, to whatever. So, but no, it's just the newest east side water tower for Marion going up. So again, going to serve a lot of purposes for the city. It's going to, number one, give us another 500,000 gallons of reserve water supply. It's also going to help on the east side of town and all the subdivisions and everything out here on the east, give them a little bit more constant water pressure. So everybody should be happy about that. So just one of many, many projects that they've got going on at one time right now. So thank you, John. Yeah, it's interesting. I hope I'll have this on my page for 30 days. So I hope some teachers get to see this. They can do what Shannon and some people are doing, having kids calculate some different things on the speed and the amount of gallons of water in this thing, and how much water weighs per gallon, and how much it's going to weigh when it's full, and all those cool things that science and engineering bring together in math to pull off something like this. Because this, I told the guys this morning, I said, I really hope everybody, you always know when you're building something, you measure twice and cut once. So I hope they measured 10 times before they welded this thing together. So, because once you get it up there, if there was a little mistake of math calculation, that's not the time to see it, So, but anyway, I'll leave this up on my page, and I think Terrence Henry's going to put it on the city webpage for a while, city Facebook page. So it'll be something people can watch if they want to. But it's pretty cool. Again, this was a big project the city had. It's been in the works for years. Finally to see it coming to fruition is good. They're also working for those on the south side of town, on the South Market Street project, water and sewer going all the way down to almost Cochrane. So that's the next big water sewer project we've got going on in the city. One other cool thing that we've been working on for the last 6 to 9 months, and that is we've signed an agreement with a company that is going to convert our water plant and our wastewater treatment plant to solar. So by this time next year, we will have both those facilities the ability to be completely solar powered, which will be a great thing for the city. We estimate it's going to save the city of Marion about $5 to $7 million over the next 25 years. And the great thing about it is it doesn't cost the city right now a dime, other than to commit to buying that solar power from the generation of those panels from this company, which we would do anyway, and we're buying it at a fraction of the cost of what we're paying today. So we'll obviously still have grid power, but we'll be able to utilize that solar power whenever we can. So John, you're correct. It saved a lot by painting it down, because obviously, if you can think about that, if you had to paint that thing up in the air, all the safety things, everything else that goes into effect, yeah, everything doubles and triples. So painting that bowl down on the ground, or closer to the ground, alleviated us from a lot of that stuff, and of course the price tag was much better for the city painting it at 50 foot high than 200 feet high. So anyway, really happy about the work that's been done on it. It looks great. Hard to imagine this thing when it was a big green blob sitting down here on the ground. So now you can see we're starting to get into the first can down there at the bottom is a little shorty can, so it's not quite the size of the other ones, but we've got 2 full cans showing, the smaller can there, and then we're up into number 3 of the big ones. So we should be about 65 to 70 feet, 75 foot up now, maybe a little higher than that. And again, it's progressing up, so it is again working its way to the top. So yeah, HA, you're exactly right. I know that was all taken into consideration. He brought up a good point about earthquakes and seismic events, and it's designed to withstand. I can't give you the exact Richter scale amount that it will handle, but it'll handle a smaller rumble, I would say, for sure. Don't quote me on what it's designed to do or not do, but I know that's all taken into account, because when you figure you got 4 million pounds sitting 200 feet in the air, and you start shaking the ground below you, you can imagine what the top heaviness of this thing might be. So they do put a lot of design and engineering into that to accommodate, just like a skyscraper would. It's designed to move and sway a little bit before it starts to get too top heavy. So, and John, yeah, it's a little too early for the band. They're used to playing at night. So if I would have told them that we're getting up and we're gonna play in 37 degrees at 7:30 in the morning, yeah, wouldn't have went anywhere. Maybe we'll do a dedication in the spring when it's warmer, and we can maybe do it at 7 o'clock at night, sometime in May or something like that. So, but hi Debbie, hi Tammy, hi Gay. How's everyone this morning? So, if you just joined us, we're out here on the east side of town, Route 13 East, at the site of the new water tower. I guess you call it raising. I don't know what the correct term is, but anyway, the giant bowl is being hoisted up by 8 I guess you call them pneumatic cranes up there on top. And we got about a half dozen guys up there monitoring each one of those. Those are actually tape measures that they have connected to the inside of the tank to make sure that at any time they are all within the same half inch of each other to make sure that thing stays perfectly level and doesn't have one of those pneumatic cranes pulling harder than another and get it off kilter and stuff like that. So they're watching it up top, they're watching it from inside in there, riding up on the inside. So it's there's a lot of monitoring going on right now as this thing is completely raised into the air. So there you can see we've got the base cap, 1, 2, and then we're up into our third cap right now. Like I said, each one of those is between around 20 to 25 feet tall. Doesn't look it from down here, but once you see the guys who were standing there this morning, and the fact that when they're standing there, they didn't even come up to the little base right there. So that's 6 foot. So it tells you the size of those things. That bottom one's about 15 feet, and the rest of them are 20 to 25. So. John, thank you for that information. John Gordon brought up a good point here. The 1982 tornado went right through the tower west of town, and it didn't phase it, other than some paint scratches where probably debris was hitting it. So these things are built to hold, so which is a good thing, because that's a lot of weight up there, and we want to make sure it stays where it's supposed to. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see the guys up there. They are busy up on top. I don't envy that job. You know, of course they're harnessed in, which they should be, but that's a long way up, and I'm sure the weather up there is different than it is down here. So at least it's a nice clear day, right? Let's get back normal size here. There we go. I'm probably going to go I'm going to stay live yet for a few more minutes until we maybe get our next can completely showing here, and that'll bring us at about 85 feet, maybe 90 feet, maybe even a little higher, but close to that. So you get an idea of what a tower looks like at 100 feet in the air, maybe 120. You can imagine what it's going to look like at 180. So anyway, that'll be finished later this morning, and I'll probably come back by after a while and just take some pictures of it once it's set up on top. Maybe even go live later this morning sometime once they get in there and start welding that base onto the base bottom. So So a lot of people were wondering when this was being constructed. I'm going to show you right here what these little plates were right through there all the way around. Well, because again, at one point the bowl was down over here on the ground, and where they started to build it, nobody really knew what that was. We didn't know if that was a little stair steps or what going up, and then we found out later that's what that bowl rested on as they built it to hold it in place before they could hoist it up the tower itself. So now we know. Hey Brittany, glad to see Ambleside School has been watching this. So it's pretty cool. It's something that kids don't see every day, and granted, neither do we. So it's pretty cool to watch that. So welcome to Ambleside School. Glad you all are watching this morning. Wow, Tammy, I did not know that. Salem, Illinois. Nice. Yeah, Sharon, you're right. I told one of the engineers this morning, I said this thing looked a lot smaller when you're traveling on 13 at 50 miles an hour than it does standing right below it, not moving at all. It's absolutely massive, and it's big standing here, but when it was down below this morning, you really got a glimpse of how big 500,000 gallon tanks are. It's massive. So yeah, it's pretty cool to think that thing was on the ground this morning, and later today that thing will be completely secured on the top, and they'll be putting the cap on it at in the near future. So, and then once that's done and everything's welded, everything's painted, then starts the process of filling it, and I'll keep people informed as to how long that will take to fill when we finally start doing it and when it finally goes online. So now you can see we've got 1, 2, 3.5 cans showing down there. So once we get in the middle of that, it'll be exactly halfway. So again, it's starting to look a lot more like a water tower should now. So hi folks. Hey John, hey Steve, hey Carl, Donna. So pretty shortly I'm going to lose sight of our guys up on top up there. It's unless I move way back. So we're just going to let this thing continue on its path, and man, John, you are giving me all kinds of information this morning. That's great. 0.43 pounds of water pressure per foot. Man, I love it. Yeah, Scott, it's not as scary down here as it would be if I was up there. So I am just fine with filming from down here on good old terra firma. Instead of, somebody said, well, you're going to put a hard hat on and go up top and take some views from the top. And I said, no, that is not going to happen. I am just fine with being down here like this. So anyway, so we're now into our full fourth can down here on the bottom. So it continues its journey to the top. Again, if you just joined us, it's our Marion's newest water tower on the east side of town on Route 13. Been going up for about 40 minutes now, and we've made that much progress. So I'd say another 30 to 40 minutes, it's probably going to be set on top, and then the welding of the base right there onto the resting spot on the top will take place, and then there's all kinds of hookups and things like that they'll be doing on it, and then eventually they'll put the top on it and bolt that all in place, and then the painting of this base will happen, and then it'll be ready for filling. So we'll keep everybody informed on that as to when it's actually going to come online. And but for now, I think I'm going to sign this thing off, let that thing continue on its, hello Laurel, hi Angie, it'll continue on its journey to the top, and like I said, I will go maybe live again a little bit later today when it is fully set onto its pedestal up on top. So again, it's going up at about 1 foot every 2 minutes is the rate that their engineers have told us it is being raised. It's a 50-ton bowl, empty right now, going up there, so that's 100,000 pounds being hoisted up by those 8 pneumatic cranes up on top. And then once that thing is filled in a couple weeks, it will weigh about 4.3 million pounds. So lots of weight, lots of water up there, but obviously something that our city can use, because the Lord's blessed us. We are growing, we're prospering, and with that progress comes the need for infrastructure, and this is part of it. So I'm going to sign off for now. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll come back live here later this morning. Have a good morning.